so much to discuss and unpack, and it didn't start with them. There were influences that came before.
Mm-hmm.
And I think just in general, we have to be mindful of the influence that we have, the
Mm-hmm.
power that we possess, and the impact that we make on individuals, communities, and cultures.
Right.
And we should be more so concerned for what's to come after this. Because if you take it so far and you go so far with something, it's like, what more can we say after this? How can we top this? It's only going to get worse.
Right.
It's only going to get worse. And I don't necessarily like to, call out different names and stuff like that, or pinpoint, unless I'm led to. I understand the place that a female rapper or any rapper may be in, coming from that secular side. I used to say things, that I knew, at the time wasn't the best thing to be saying. And, but it was always something in my heart. And I always knew that I can't keep doing this. I should not be leaving this type of energy in the earth. This is not my legacy, not in this manner. Yeah. And although I kept, I felt that and I knew that, I love to write. I love to rap. I love to go to the studio and record. I loved, being in that environment. It was exciting. You know what I mean? And it was collaborative, and just meeting new people and all of that. And I was living out a dream, something that had been planted, a seed that was planted when those 90s era female rappers were in their primes, as far as music. I could see myself doing that before I even knew that I would, before I ever picked up a pen. Like, it's just something was in my heart when I was watching them and listening to them on TV, on, BET or whatever, MTV.
Yeah.
I think it was more so BET at the time. And I just say that we have evolved into a monster almost in some aspect. Yeah. We just need to be more mindful of the things that we say and the things that we do, and especially as women, because we are so much more to the community. Even if we're not respected culturally, in the culture of what we have to contribute to the culture, we're important to the community. We're important to the family. I'm not saying that we aren't important to the culture, but I'm saying we have been the foundation. And especially African-American women, Black women, we have been the strength and the foundation and the thread that has been able to keep things together in our households, in our, communities, or, wherever we are. And I mean, of course, we have a different side where we can unravel some stuff.
Right.
Right. But we have the ability to be strong and to pull things together. And we also have a tornadic ability to tear some things up. And we have to decide. We have to decide which side are we going to be on. I don't think it's great to try and do both. Uh-huh. One is going to overpower the other, and the other is going to be unbelievable. Like, you doing this, I don't believe you because you do that,
Right.
So people almost will push you. Culture will almost push you to, and the industry will push you to make a choice to live out your dreams and to pursue your dreams, compromising, your integrity, your character, and the things that you were created to do, and, turning those things into something that's not as pleasing and as satisfying for your soul, for your spirit, man. And we'll take that and turn it into flesh, which leads to destruction, self-destruction, and it leads to destruction of, those branches of destruction that are out there and lingering for other people to come and pull the fruit from, and they eat of that. So the children are listening to your music. They're watching your videos. They are being influenced. They're eating it. They're listening to it. They're digesting this. And so what do you think is going to... So my question, I have a question. I'm like how Jesus did. A lot of times when people came to Jesus with a concern, he didn't even give him a statement or a sermon or a paragraph or nothing like that.
He parabolized.
He either parabolized or and that's what I'm getting ready to ask and use one of the parables, the parable of the sower. He either parabolized or he asked a question. So my question is, what type of seeds are you sowing?
Good question.
Now, I don't want to, you ain't got to answer it to me. You don't have to inbox it to me. You
put it in the comments.
You can put it in the comments if you want to, or whatever, or you can just put it in your own diary, or put it up here, or right here, right or go vertical with it. You talk to God about the type of seeds that you're sowing, and because those seeds are going to sprout up, and they are going to grow. And do you want to be responsible for destruction, or you want to be responsible for constructing something positive, or something that's going to tear down? So, that's a personal decision. God doesn't project himself on anybody. He doesn't make us read the Bible. He doesn't make us fellowship with the saints and, go to the assembly or to the church. He doesn't make us worship him. He doesn't make us praise him. He doesn't make us do anything. Everything is a choice. We have free will. We're free will agents out here. That
free will is something else too. That free will can get a lot of people in trouble. And you just threw me a layup, and I appreciate that. When you said that you don't like to call names, that's why I got the job to, I call out names.
I'll let you do all that.
Yeah, there are martialisms that I do intentionally, and we live in a day and time of clickbaits because a lot of people's attention only allows them to read the headlines, and so with calling those names in red and I'm a comedian, so I play with the not calling her sexy and all that, and really it's not based off of the look. It's not based off of the physical appearance. It's more so based off of the substance or lack thereof that decreases or diminishes the sexy. But then when you think about that rudiment or that root word of sexy is sex. And I guess you would be sexy red because everything you push, everything you materialize, everything that you bring to forefront is about sex. So what I wanted to do was to grab their names. Maybe somebody be like, oh, they talking about this, and they come across them, and they could come into the arena and have a conversation. When those young ladies, such as I named, and even those that are of their peers, man, they have our youth, your daughters, my daughters are older now, but possibly my daughters, people's grandchildren, Tiffany, that are hanging on to every word. I'm looking in certain TikToks, and I'm looking how teachers are using Sexy Red's degrading songs to teach ABCs that, it makes you say you're feeding, although you're planting something. I can plant good seed, but if I put it on kind of stony or hard or rocky ground, and then I use vinegar to water instead of H2O, that seed is not going to maturate well. So with them having that responsibility, what's leading me to speak is too much given, much required. Yeah. And so you have so many young, impressionable young girls that hang on to your every word, your every dance move, your every TikTok, your every post, your every lyric. Why not teach them how to be a better Black woman than even us? My whole thing was, when I became a father, was to teach my kids how to navigate through this earth better than I did at every age that they're going to come to, that it'll be that much easier. And so that is really my thing in my campaign, is that Black women, you really are queens. You are the arms that rocked every generation. You are the breasts that suckled every child. You are the source. And now there is an agenda being pushed. First of all, you have to be a killer to be a man, that you have to put your hands on women to maintain or garner control, and that you have to be disrespectful to be respected. And then all of a sudden it was like, now that is the head of the household. Now if we go into the heart or the nurture of the household and take away the softness, now all of a sudden the generation to come is reckless. It's out of control, and you abandon morals because you're chasing ambition. And I want you young ladies to know there is nothing to be that ambitious of to where you sacrifice your self-respect, and self-degradation is doing that. Did you see the video of Sukiyana when she said she sold her soul to the devil and she get out of it?
I believe I saw something, a clip of some of that. I don't know if I watched the entire thing, but yeah, I remember something like that.
Yeah. And another point that you said in your answer was, you know, I came up in the 90s. Well, I put it like this. I was 18 in 1990. So there was a lot of shut your mouth, shut your face and your mouth.
I was in the first grade. I was in the first grade.
Stop, Tiffany. But you know, I came up in an era full of misogyny, an era full of testosterone driven industry, chauvinistic ways, and it was okay to put a woman's butt in a camera and never show her face. You see what I'm saying? And I would put out, not me myself, but I'm saying as an artist, you look at Luther Campbell for a prime
I was just about to say, you gotta get down there with them Southside Florida folks. Some of them came to mind, female wise. We were talking about the influences earlier about how the names you named didn't start this. And I'm not saying all the Southside Florida folks rappers did either, but they contributed. It was contributions from every, decade.
Yeah.
Contributed to the next decade's evolution in how they expressed.
And you know what, Tiff?
Mumblers, I don't know where they came from, but yeah, go ahead. I don't know where they came from.
Uncle Luke literally would say, I'm auditioning for Luke dancers. Meet me down at South Beach. And South Beach would be crowded.
Yeah.
So it was the ambition that said, I'm willing to go out here and pop it and twerk it and push it and throw it like I would do in my bedroom to get this opportunity to get out of the situation or to achieve the dream that I'm set out. So, man, I said that to say I loved Little Kim, but I also loved MC Lyte.
Yeah.
I love looking at Foxy Brown, but I also like listening to Mia X and Roxanne Shante. I love listening to MC Lyte, Yo-Yo, Moni Love, but I love looking at Trina. What's the girl's name? My Neck, My Back. Yeah, all that. I was there for it, all of it. But when it came down to really saying who are the greatest MCs in the game, you start looking at the lyricists more than the optical, the optics. So I just wanted to put that out there to get that started off, that sisters, you don't have to have so much ambition that it causes you to lose your self-respect. And to each his own. I mean, that is true. And although we are both Christians, it ain't a Christian, non-Christian thing. It's about, because it's a lot of, which we're going to turn. There's a lot of Christians out here doing some ungodly things to get their turn next. There's a whole lot of contracts. This here comedian now that used to be a singer turned down because of some stuff that was insinuated. And I've been in a couple of board rooms and I've been in a couple of suites to where some propositions came down and I was considered a troublemaker. I was considered crazy because I had to collar up a couple of these gospel execs and gospel artists that were starting labels because you want to come at me like you would come at a woman. And I'm not a woman. I'm a boy, Damon. And so therefore, if that's what you want to do, then you do that over there with them that's down for it. But if you bring that to me, we're going to get into... Hey, no, go ahead. I mean, we're going to get into some sort of furniture movement.
I'm trying out the style.